an all-new episode of Hangin with the Dreamer every Monday at 12 noon. Available wherever you stream. Hey, everybody. It's your old boy, the Dreamer. How are you? Welcome to another very, very exciting episode of Hangin with the Dreamer. Today, Dreamers, I have a very, very special treat in store for all of you. I have Ali, a very, 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 very blessed visionary artist of AliArt&Co. is waiting so very patiently in my green room. I also just want to make a quick announcement that now I am selling 15-second ad time. Ad space is available for Hanging with the Dreamer. So anybody who is interested, please message me on Facebook at either my show like page, which would be like page of Hanging with the Dreamer, or by my real name, Will Dunham. That's Will Dunham, Dunham. And we will talk about that. And I will let you know exactly how much ad space is and what you will be getting for that. Thank you so very much. Also, I have a quick word from my partner, my sponsor, MetalBabeMayhem.com, your one-stop shop for all official band merchandise, both hard rock and heavy metal. Enjoy, Dreamers.
Metal Babe Mayhem is more than just an online store. It's a destination. Shine a light on me when I'm scared of the dark. MetalBabeMayhem.com carries over 150 rock and roll products, including clothing, jewelry, and accessories. Good enough for greed.
MetalBabeMayhem.com, your one-stop shop for all official band merchandise, both hard rock and heavy metal. Now, Dreamers, I have the extreme blessing and the extreme pleasure to introduce my guest who is waiting so kindly in the green room, Miss Ali of AliArt&Co. Come on, Dreamers, let's make her feel welcome. Say hello to Ali. Hi, Ali, welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody, all the followers of The Dreamer. It's such a pleasure to be with you here today. So I hope you're starting your Monday off and great and with energy and creativity and color and everything good. How are you, Will?
Oh, I am fantastic. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream, Ali.
Good. That's the way we should all be living.
You know? Yeah, I'm living the dream. Living the dream. So let's jump right into it. Who are you? And what would you like to tell the world about your inspiration that got you involved with creating stunning, beautiful portraits?
You're so kind. Keep telling me things. And I'm joking. Well, okay. I have always, I guess, especially growing up in an era without technology and everything, we had to be very creative when we were kids and everything. For me, it was always drawing. It was always crafting. It was always creating things. So I would try. And then my dad paints. My dad paints like Leonardo da Vinci, like the Renaissance painters. He's amazing. And his house was always full of art and I would just love it. I really started loving color and boldness and rough art of artist, a French artist, Toulouse-Lautrec. A lot of people kind of don't like him because he was always focusing on the prostitution scene in Paris. But for me, I don't see that. For me, I would just see happy people and colors and outfits and dancing. So that was very embedded in me always, and all the art all over my dad's house. But you start growing up. I went to law school. I became a teacher. I got married, and you kind of put that dream aside, right? You focus on changing diapers, on doing chores, on doing several things, and every now and then I would do like a little sketch and just put it away or whatever. Um, I was born in United States, but I have lived in Mexico all my life, and then I came back to the States in 2009 for good to stay over here. Um, I think like all people, or the majority of people, I went through like a rough patch, money wise, struggling. Believe it or not, I was still struggling a little bit with language because my first language was Spanish. So I had to learn English and had to get like, oh my God, what's this word or what are they referring? So I didn't even think I was ever gonna take a pencil and paper again and draw. Um, and when I got married to my husband, who is an artist, he's an art teacher, he's a musician as well. He's just amazingly talented. I think he brought back to my life many positive things. In those things, he brought back a lot of peace, a lot of serenity. And I said, I being, I think, near a creative and artistic person, kind of like started waking up that dream again. But then I started working a very stressful job. I was a Spanish interpreter, and it was just so stressful. So believe it or not, as I was working, I was doodling. I was doing like little, and I said, you know what? I need to start painting. So as I was interpreting, I was painting. I was painting things, and that will calm me so much, especially because I suffer from eustachian tube dysfunction, and it's like a very horrible condition. And once I'm painting, I have no headaches. I don't feel problems in my ears. And when I was working that job, it wasn't as stressful. So then I told my husband, you know what? I'm going to start selling my artwork. I know people are going to like it. He didn't have faith in it just because we live in the lower valley of Texas, border with Mexico. And honestly, people, sadly, the culture, the knowledge regarding art is not there. It's just not there. They think that you can sell them a painting in $5, like literally. Um, they don't see behind anything else. But I told them, but I still feel I'm gonna do it. Like, and I said nothing's gonna stop me now. I'm gonna, and I got a lot of art supplies because my dad had like a painting with a twist type of business. So he gave me all his painting, all his paints, all the canvases, all the paint brushes. So I started doing like little stuff, and I started selling them for $20 because I had not invested in any material. It was a
Sure.
mistake. So if there are any artists watching this, don't ever do that. It doesn't matter if you get all the, because then people get used to that and people are like, well, why were you? So if you're an artist, don't sell your time that way because it's not fair. And it's a way for not respecting your own skill and time. Because if this skill everybody had it, then people could do it themselves. So anyway, I started like, doing heavy research on how to price a canvas, which was the best. And I started selling. And my husband was like, what? But it was weird, Dreamer, because it was not here. It was London. It was Germany. It was like, and I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm not gonna say that it was immediate, but AliArt started, blooming. I am still not where I want to be. all this inspiration comes from 80s rock. I love the 80s. I learned how to speak English because of the 80s, more specifically Guns N' Roses. I'm a diehard fan of Guns N' Roses. In fact, my dream is to become a licensed artist for them. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I can say that Slash has a jacket that I made for him. Axl Rose has a painting. Duff McKagan has a painting. Steven Adler, which is the former drummer for Guns N' Roses, has a painting. In fact, if you allow me, I want to put a commercial. This is a hint because I asked my AliArt fans to watch this interview. So, AliArt fans, this is your first hint. Where was Steven Adler's show? And when we go back to the live, you need to answer that question. So I asked all my AliArt fans to subscribe to you and to follow this interview. And I told them that I was going to drop a couple of hints. So for me, that's like little dreams, little steps to achieving things. Many celebrities have an AliArt. So for me, that's like such an honor. And we made a business out of it. Like I said, I'm not where I want to be, but this dream is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just a simple girl that happened to meet the man of her dreams, who brought and revived all of this, like gave me all the tools. My husband, Alonso, I think he, without knowing, helped me restart all this. And he has become my inspiration because he's my cheerleader. He's my rock. Like he has taught me things. And on top of it, AliArt wouldn't be where it is if it weren't for him, because he stretches the canvas. He makes the frames. He makes the box to ship. He helps me print out things like, for the boxes. He helps me do the packaging so that I can just focus on painting. Of course, I'm learning how to frame, so I'm very proud of it. It's very difficult. I never met. Well, for me, it's difficult still now. I think maybe with practice, it'll get better. But that's who I am. That's a little bit of my background. That's where my inspiration is. And I'm just so grateful. Like, I'm very, very grateful for everybody that has bought an AliArt. I'm very grateful for the people like you that have taken a notice and want to know a little bit about me.
Well, it's my pleasure for sure. Before I tell you like what my ultimate favorite is, maybe I already have, but what is your favorite so far to date? What is the most memorable when you think about it, creating? What's the most memorable creation you've created up to date?
It's funny because I think it's the same one that you like. So can I just say it?
Well, you can show it if you want.
Well, I don't have it. They're sold. But it's that one. It's the Goblin King, and the reason for it is because that's one of my favorite movies. Labyrinth with the late David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly, and I just love it. Like I can tell you the movie. I know all the dialogues, and at least once a week, my son and I is like, you remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. Like
babe with the power.
Power of
voodoo. Yeah, the power of voodoo.
And we dance and we twerk to it. Yes. And we dance and twerk to it. And we've done it, when we go to get the groceries, we do it. And my daughter and I have this inside joke where she goes, hello. And I'm just like, did you just say hello? No, I said hello, but that's quite close enough. And, we have these little like inside jokes. I don't know, with my husband too. Like when they're in the stinky place, like my husband like imitates Ludo, which I call him Pluto. But that's a very iconic film. I'm sure that all the viewers right now, I'm sure that 90% of them have watched that movie and they know what we're talking about and the feelings. And it goes back to the movies. Back then they were so magical, they were so fun, they were
Yeah.
so innocent, they were so intriguing. It had everything. Like, I don't want to trash movies today, 'cause some of them are really good, but I
Yeah.
just wish that magic from the 80s were still alive today.
Definitely.
And I was a little girl, um but it's definitely a part of me, the Jennifer Connelly look. I'm sure if I go to my closet, I can bring you the blouse, the white blouse that she has.
Oh, I
I,
remember that.
yeah, I have to have a blouse like hers. Of course,
That's
it's not
amazing.
identical, but it's a little bit in that. So when I have a good friend of mine, she died of cancer. For me, cancer is like, as for many people, it's kind of like a touchy subject because my husband had cancer. So cancer for me is like something, very. My friend did pass away in 2019, sadly. And we made a benefit. All the local bands, the cover bands from here, from the valley, we did like a huge event. And I decided to donate a painting, and I made that one, the Goblin King. So I have sold 10 replicas of that painting. And no matter what, it's called for Rose. Even though it has nothing to do with the movie or anything, it's called for Rose. Um, and it's very mixed media. It has a lot of texture on the edges of the frame. And I glued and I sticked like several items, jewelry, that reminded my journey with my friend. And of course, it's the last scene of David Bowie before he turns into the owl, uh, where he's playing with the crystal balls.
Yeah.
And he's like giving her a choice, like, join me. And she remembers the phrase of the book, and he turns into the owl. It's that last very scene. And the ball on the painting is a 3D acrylic ball, and
I
it
love
lights up. That's something that you didn't know. The painting lights up.
Right.
Um,
I
and
love it.
it's just a beautiful piece. And I think it reminds me, of my childhood, something very magical for me. Uh, the songs, and something that inside jokes with my family, but also my dear friend. And also, it has been one of the best sellers because I have that one, and I have the ballroom scene where David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly are dancing. That
Yeah.
one lights up too. So they're like a pair.
Amazing.
And those are like my favorite kind of like scenes, of them. Um, so I think those are like my favorite, and not because they're the best sellers. No, it's just it has a lot of me in there, like a lot of my soul, a lot of my spirit, a lot of my inspiration. It was one of the first paintings AliArt started with, so it's kind of like a baby. And I haven't worked on it for a while. I guess a lot of people, I mean, you took the time to go through my stuff, but I guess a lot of people haven't taken the time to see them. But yeah, I think that's one of my babies. And of course, anything Guns N' Roses related, specifically Axl. I love Axl Rose. Um, I can sit here and talk more of him than me. um, I just love Axl Rose. I understand his personality for everything that I've read, and I just try to understand him in a human level. So every time creating an Axl Rose painting, for me, it's a lot of soul in there, a lot of it, because I started liking Guns N' Roses at age 8 or 9. So it also grew up with me. It's a part of me. So that's it.
Well, I'll tell you, the very first time that I first ran across you, you just kind of popped up. I was laying in bed in typical dreamer fashion. I'm laying there and I'm tossing and turning, and I'm thinking, I need to do something new for 2023. like 275 interviews in the last 3 years. They're all bands from the starter garage band to the top tier entertainment. And I'm thinking, I need to really start spreading my wings.
Sometimes it's good to mix it up. Mix it up.
Yeah. And when I got up in the morning, I I have my morning coffee and I have my morning meditation time.
Good, good.
Very important to me.
Yes.
Important to what I do. And I started some video production. And then the word art came into my head. And I thought, art? I look over, yeah, exactly. I look over and I see my tapestry of Jimi Hendrix. And I think to myself, wait a minute. So typically, when I get these moments of inspiration, I don't question them. I just go. I just
you just go with your instinct. Your gut is trying to tell you something. Definitely.
And the very first Facebook page that popped up when I typed art was yours.
Wow. Everybody type art right now.
I was just like, whoa. I started looking, and when I started going through your Facebook page and I saw your Motley Crue paintings, and I saw, which is directly out of my childhood, because I'm a child of the Sunset Strip.
I know. Amazing.
Pasadena, California. And my middle name is Star. S-T-A-R-R. That's my birth middle name.
Wow, look at that.
And I was looking at your portraits, and I was like, no way, man.
Way, sir, way.
And exactly. And then on top of that, then I ran into your David Bowie portrait. And at first, I saw kind of like the earlier renditions of David Bowie. And then I ran into the Goblin King portraits. And when I ran into the Goblin King portraits, my heart stopped. And because I have a deep fascination with characters like that, and I have a deep fascination and a deep love for these mysterious spiritual realms that these mind-blowing characters are.
Yes, they are mind-blowing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and I want to be part of that. I just like, I felt like I was running with Sarah through the labyrinth when the little
and you feel the anxiety and you're like, oh my God, the time. Yeah. Like, yes, I know.
And when King Jared appeared in Sarah's bedroom window, and he looked at her and he's like, Sarah, be careful what you wish for, is something along those lines. And he threw the crystal ball at her and it turned into a snake. And she pulled the snake off her neck and it was a goblin. And
I know.
I was like,
but I don't know if for you, like a quick parenthesis, sorry to interrupt. For me, when he said, careful what you dream with, you know what? That is so true. And ever since I was a little girl, that's stuck in my brain so much. So yes, careful what you wish for, because it for some reason you're calling it.
That's exactly it. And the funny thing about that line that David Bowie, King Jared said to Sarah, um, it rings true in just about every aspect
Yeah,
of life. Be
it
careful
does. I
be
agree.
careful what you wish for, because when you get it, it may not be what you think it is. You know
That is another thing. True.
that, and it's true.
It
It's
is. It is. And sadly, sometimes we're just thinking of what we want and what we desire. And, oh, I want this to come true. For instance, a lottery, like, oh, I wish to win the lottery. But sometimes maybe we don't stop a little bit and think, okay, what will be the consequences or the aftermath of maybe wishing something so much that maybe it was really truly not for us, and maybe we made it all the way happen and force it and just bring it to us just because we wanted to have that. And I guess we have all been there, where we finally get what we wanted, and sometimes it's a huge disappointment.
That's when forcing stuff, when you force things, when you think you can make something happen, that's where you get into problems. But when I've noticed that when you just kind of take an inspiration or a beautiful portrait of yours and you just throw it to the stars and back up and go on to something else and let the stars do their work,
Yeah.
that's when the good things happen.
And you're very right in that. Like, what's meant to, and it took me so long to understand that. And again, I bring it back to my husband, because I'm not patient at all. Still till today, I still need to be patient. I am not, but I think I'm improving. And he kind of taught me, like, don't stress, let it be. If it's meant for you, everything will be easy. If it start getting complicated, it's just not for you. Let it go.
Let it
Sometimes,
go.
I don't know if you want to call it the universe, karma, God, whatever you want to call it, but I think something in life is stopping it, maybe to save you from an accident, from having a horrible moment, maybe from getting hurt,
Yeah.
maybe from getting kidnapped. I don't know. Call it whatever. So, it made, but unfortunately, you don't understand this when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're 32, like me. But like you have to live a while before you understand, because at first you're a risk taker and you don't care and you think that you know more than others. But uh and I'm gonna make this another hint right now of what we're talking about, the dreams and not forcing things. So AliArts, this is another hint for that print, that autograph print, which I don't know, Will, if I can show it right now during the show. But
Putting,
this is gonna be another hint. And let me show for
yeah,
even for your followers. I recently saw Steven Adler, former drummer of the classic lineup of Guns N' Roses. He has this portrait, and
oh,
he autographed a print,
look at
which i'm
that.
gonna be which I'm gonna be raffling. Free. I'm not charging. The only thing that I will charge is the shipping, which within United States, it's like maybe $10. Maybe internationally could be maybe $15, $18. That's all I'm gonna charge, the shipping. I'm not charging for the print.
Wow.
But this is the print, and Steven Adler is the owner of this portrait, and it's autographed. So anyway, I'll just throw that as a hint. But I do believe you're right in what we ask for and what we dream for. And I have learned very patiently that if it's meant to happen, it will. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it will.
Well, that very well said. And something, I'll tell you, I know personally speaking that when I just I work on a project or write some music or visualize bring a graphic in my mind to life, or I get to a certain point to where I'm like, I can't do anything else with this. And it's blowing my mind. And I've learned a couple very valuable things creating this, this creation. Maybe it's
Yeah.
time I need to move on.
Yeah.
So I just throw it to the side, keep it on my in my on my folder on my terabyte hard
In the back
drive.
burner.
Yeah, just keep it right there so I could access it anytime I want,
Yeah.
and maybe eventually use it. Um, and I move on. And I've noticed that when I do that, all of a sudden I'll get a text from somebody, or all of a sudden I'll get a message on Facebook, or all of a sudden I'll have a certain guest that I'm interviewing, and they'll tell me, oh, by the way, and then and then you know I saw the graphic you were saying you designed 2 months ago. That's pretty crazy. Can you do one for me?
Oh,
You know,
wow.
and I'm like, okay, sure. Let's
Out
talk
of the
about
blue,
this.
sometimes the best things that happen to you are also a little bit out of the blue when you least
Oh yeah.
expect them. So, and that's also like a little surprise. And you know what? Sometimes it's healthy when you're struggling too much with a project, or like, trust me, I struggle like that sometimes with my portraits. And that's why I always tell the Ali Art fans and clients, you know what? I appreciate your patience so much, because I know of artists that can paint a portrait in a sit, 2 hours, and they're done. And I admire them. I can't. I don't have that ability. I am very, very, very slow. I mess up a lot. So I have to go back and paint it white and wait for it to cure and dry and then start over. Um, and for me, it's very important to tell my clients, please. And sometimes, my mental health, for my mental health, because I start getting stressed, I start getting worried, I start with back. I'm like, I need to put this portrait away. And then it's a commission that they already paid for, but I'm too tired of seeing it and working. And the more I try, the more I mess up. And sometimes I take a break. Sometimes I get another commission, which I work on smoothly. And after maybe a week, I'm like, okay, I regroup myself, I bring it back out, and everything goes like butter, magically. Like everything goes so smooth. So sometimes it's also good, to put those things aside. But then sometimes it happens, like with you, that out of the blue you get a text or something, and it has happened to me that I have a portrait there that I don't even remember. It has happened to me twice. They're like, "Hey, I want that," and I'm like, "What?" Like, and I have to just go back and touch it up and make sure that it's like, and it's awesome. I guess those little surprises, and they keep your inspiration and they keep your motivation going. You're like, okay, I'm definitely doing something. I'm on the right track. So things will continue to happen, they will continue to develop, and I think not giving up is number one.
Well, I'm a firm believer in having faith in yourself and
Yeah.
faith in others. And because when you put positivity and you put positive energy out to the stars, sooner or later, that positive energy is going to come back to you.
Always, always.
And it's going to be, and it may be in a form of something that you least expected.
Yes,
And,
I
and
agree.
just knocks you back, knocks you off your chair. I believe that. I I
I am with you 100%.
I
Yes.
I believe that. And the very first time, going back to your Goblin King portraits, uh, um, the very first time that I saw that, saw the one Goblin King, portrait, and my heart just stopped. I mean, really, my heart stopped, and I was just completely. I just looked into the eyes of the Goblin King, and I felt like the Goblin King was calling me, and I did. It was. I was just like, okay, now if somebody's art can make me feel like this,
Thank you.
I need to interview that artist. And I need to tell that
And here
artist,
we are.
I need to tell you, I need to tell this artist exactly how much the artist's art means to me and the impact that art, that the Goblin King, you know, was staring at me with those crystal eyes, just just I could just feel the Goblin King was just pulling my arm, you know. I was just
Well,
drawn. I was
it helps
drawn.
also that David Bowie had really magical eyes. So I guess that also helped. We need to give credit to him. His two
No,
eyes. So
it's true. It's true. That's why I named my little 7-month-year-old Siamese rescue kitty Bowie, because
wow.
I've always been a Bowie fan. I'll send you some pictures.
Oh,
Um,
awesome. Yes, do
I've
so.
always I've always thank you. Um, I've always been a major Bowie fan. Um, from Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, all the way to his um, modern day David
Yeah.
Bowie, you know, and Blue Jeans, hit Blue Jean David Bowie,
He
Dancing
had
with
like a lot
Blue
of
Jeans,
faces. A
you
lot.
know,
Like every time like time would pass and I would see David Bowie, it was something else. And I was like, whoa, like always something else.
you've seen the last two videos he made right before he died, right?
No,
Black Star, and look it up on YouTube.
I
Black
will.
Star. Look up Black Star,
Okay.
and this is I can't. It's hard for me to talk about it without getting choked up because it means that much to me. But
Wow.
the
I
last
will look,
two
I will look it up. I will look it up.
the last two videos that David Bowie did before he passed is absolutely cemented in my mind forever, because it takes me right back to the Goblin King again.
Oh, now I
And
want to go and see it right now.
yeah, check it out.
I
It's
will.
different, very,
I
very
will.
different.
And
And you,
right now, I'm about because I started it, but I never finished. But I'm about to finish it again. Speaking of leaving things undone, the Siggy Star. Like I have a David Bowie painting. It's an 8x10, but it came out so nice.
oh, I'd
And
love to see
I'm
that
about
too.
to I'm about to upload it. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it.
I'd love to see that. I'm a big, like, I have a little shrine that I built, my
Oh,
meditation
nice.
shrine. Um, and I have room on my shrine for a David Bowie portrait.
Well, you found me.
Yeah, I
Everybody found
do.
me.
I do. I have room in my shrine for a David Bowie portrait, preferably
Awesome.
preferably the Goblin King with those crystal eyes. That would be
Oh,
perfect.
you would really like it. You would really really like it.
But Ziggy
Honestly,
Stardust is just as just as
big
uh
for you.
yeah, No doubt.
Well,
No doubt.
I'm gonna release it soon. The the Siggy Star. Like it's really nice. It's really nice. I think you're gonna like it, and I want to know what you think about it. I'm gonna be
Oh,
curious. I'm gonna be waiting for a comment.
oh, you bet. No problem. So,
Cool.
now my question to you is, who's your favorite artist of all time?
I honestly cannot tell you that it's only one. I love Frida Kahlo. I love Vincent Van Gogh, and I love Toulouse-Lautrec. Uh, those three. I love Bob Ross. I love Bob Ross a lot. I don't do what he does. Uh, uh, it's not that I don't enjoy to do landscapes. It's just that it's not where my inspiration travels or goes to. I like to create, especially 80s rock stars or movies. And I also do commissions. So people like, hey, can you paint my mom, my brother? I'll do that too. But like my main thing is faces. I like to work with faces. And some people like to work with landscapes, or ocean views or stuff like that. I think we all find inspiration elsewhere. But those three, Frida Kahlo, Van Gogh, and Toulouse-Lautrec, those for me are my, I don't know, like I really like everything that they I don't know, like I guess that a lot of people have mental illnesses, and Van Gogh struggled so much with that, and we don't pay so much attention to mental health. And I can just imagine if Van Gogh would have maybe lived in today's world, and if he would have had, like medicine or therapy or something. Can you imagine what else he would have created? I don't know. I think that Frida, her resilience, she was always in pain. She was always suffering, and she expressed it through her artwork. And Toulouse-Lautrec, I don't know what I said at the beginning. For me, it was like color. Like these are Toulouse-Lautrecs. This is one of my favorites. For me, it's just like the how the movement of the skirt. And these portraits were done by my father, and my father finally gave them to me. Yay! He didn't want to, so I finally convinced him. So both of these are Toulouse-Lautrec, and they're huge, 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 huge paintings. And you see, I just see them, and I get inspired. I like how my house looks, and it just, I like the boldness of the strokes of his brush. You see, I didn't go to art school, so I wouldn't know like correct terms and everything. I just have a skill. I have watched videos. My husband is an art teacher. He has showed me. My dad did not go to school either, so obviously I get the skill from him. And he also teach me like little stuff in here. So I cannot speak like with a lot of knowledge because I didn't go to school. Um, so I might not be describing things like as a professional artist would, but I just love Toulouse-Lautrec. It just calls me. I'm drawn to the colors and everything. And you see, I wish that a lot of people would understand what art does to you when you hang it in your house. It just creates a completely different mood. It automatically, for some reason, it puts you in a better mood. It calms you down. Not to mention that it's something that will create a vibe in your house, a completely, totally different vibe. For some reason, artwork is very magical. That's why we have museums, and that's why we cherish so much the artists that are not with us anymore. There is a reason, and something more important. Art is always an investment. Always, always, always an investment. So when you buy a piece of art, it's just not a piece of art. No, it's an investment. You never know when that piece of art can be worth a lot of money. So art is always going to go up. Doesn't matter who you buy it from. So that is also something important with artwork. So my favorite artists are Van Gogh, Toulouse-Lautrec, and Frida. You're like, yes, Ali, that's all I asked. I'm a talker.
You're awesome.
You wanted to interview me. I'm going to talk.
That's wonderful. That's what I do the show for. Art on this on the subject of art, really, it's art is expression, and art art tells a story. You know, the creation from when I look at my logo for Hanging with the Dreamer for my show here, you know, I see Hanging with the Dreamer with a little boy dragging a guitar. And that little boy dragging the guitar is me. And it's such a simple design, but when you look at it, it's like something that nobody's done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a simple, very simple thing, simple graphic, but it's a black and white photo, black and white logo, and it's me because, and that's something, most, and I'm only saying this from the artistic standpoint, since we are talking about art. I'm sitting here just looking at the graphic right now, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I have not ever seen anything like that. I have seen some magnificent portraits. I have seen, this was before seeing yours. And but the saying, keep it simple.
Yes.
Sometimes simplicity speaks volumes.
Volumes, yeah.
And simplicity. See, that's what I love. Another thing that attracted me to your to art.
Don't go and call me simple, Will, because I'm not simple at all.
I wasn't going to do that. No, I'd never do that. But just like your art, it just is straight to the point. And when somebody's looking at your art, they know who they're looking at, and they know exactly who the artist is. You have a very a signature side to your creativity, and once again, you could thank the Goblin King for that,
For that.
because the Goblin King is the one where all this came to my mind the first time I saw your King Jared portrait.
And I'm so happy you noticed that, because that was always one of my goals, for people just to see a portrait of mine and be able to know, oh, that's an AliArt. So I'm very happy that you're saying that. Click, check.
It's true. It's true, and absolutely. And from an artistic creator standpoint, even if I didn't know who David Bowie was, even if I didn't know who King Jared was, even if I wasn't a Lambert nut, I would see your portrait, King Jared, and think to myself, oh, I want to know this person. I don't know who that is, but there's just something really attracting me. What's going on here? And I would question what why do I feel weird? Why do I wait a minute? Who is this? You know, your
I'm
art,
blushing, Will. I'm blushing.
well, it's true. Your art and why I love your art so much is
Thank you.
because even for the observer who doesn't know who you are, who doesn't know who I am, who doesn't know who David Bowie is, who has no clue what the Lambert or King Jared or Sarah,
Yeah.
Hogwarts about, can still be drawn in. That says something to the spirit behind your art. And that says something to your artistic capabilities. And that says something to your heart and your soul. And that says something to your creative mind and your creative spirit, because you're painting your portrait of King Jared. All the way, I looked at all of them. And by the time I got to King Jared was just staring at me.
Yeah, he's a strong one. That's a strong painting. That is definitely a strong.
And I knew that was the portrait I have to have in my shrine.
Well, it would be my pleasure. But I think it all rounds up, and I think that you're gonna agree with me, or I hope so. I think when you truly do things with a passion, with sincerity, and that's why Ali Art and Company is art with heart, because really my heart is completely poured into everything I do. Everything. You see, I do raffles. I do raffles to help people. I do raffles like, for example, this print. This is not the first autograph print by a famous artist and I give them away. I'm not against artists that can get a signature and then sell it. That's fine. But for me, I want to bring happiness to people. I want to share my art. I think if I were rich, 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 I think I would give my paintings away. Just for people to have beauty in their homes, to have true passion and true heart hanging in their walls, because that's good energy. And when I go live in my page, I always tell them, you are taking a lot of mantras that I feel and that I'm putting into that portrait, like be okay, be happy, be healthy, be inspired. And all of that I'm feeling, I'm painting it with my paintbrush, like me getting close to the canvas, me feeling my neck hurting me. But all of that is transformed into nothing but positivity. And I honestly feel that has been the number one ingredient for people to be drawn to me. That I am as sincere as possible. I am sincere, period. But I try to transmit it as much as possible during my life, because people don't know me. People don't know if that's the real Ali, but I promise you it is. And if I can because I have also met clients that now are great, great friends. And I'm pretty sure that they can tell you that the person that they see live, it's the same person, maybe a little bit crazier, that they meet. And I think that's the first ingredient with my art. And I think that's the first thing that maybe also you saw, especially with the Goblin King. But a lot of people, when they message me back like, Ali, I got my art, I cannot believe it. Of course, those things are always what I try and like what I want to hear. Of course, my vanity side, right? But also that they are impressed and that they just feel so happy. They're like, I had never felt so happy opening a package. And I just feel it's all the good energy that happens in the studio with my husband, even with my kids, because they go in, they laugh, and I think all of that is transmitted to everything I do. So I think that's why a lot of people feel that with me, and I'm hoping that it continues to build and continues to grow. So I think that's the key ingredient.
Well, one of my last questions for today, anyway, is this: where do you see your art? What do you see your art developing into in the next 5 years?
We're definitely, I love kinetic art. So some of my paintings have sound, some of my paintings have lights. And now I'm trying to make a portrait of Axl Rose, in fact, playing the piano. And I'm going to build a stage. Well, I'm not going to build it. My husband is. If I get like tools, I'll kill me. But my husband is going to build like a look-alike stage on the canvas. And I want to see how I can make it look as, because, when Axl Rose plays, you can see the profile of him on the piano. So when he's playing, I want to make like the hand move. So I definitely want to be at that level of kinetic art. I want to see my artwork being licensed by Guns N' Roses. That's my biggest dream. If that doesn't happen, at least licensed by another of my favorite artists. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I'm not going to stop until maybe someone can give me an opportunity. I would love to see that, just because the 80s and the 80s glam rock bands are a lot of part of me, of my inspiration. And of course, painting better. I can see how my art has developed since I was a little girl to my teenagers, to a couple of doodles that I did maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago. And then when I started AliArt 4 years ago, I see my paintings then and I see them now and I'm like, oh my God, like, so hopefully even better, like being a better artist. That's where I would like AliArt. I would definitely like, one of my dreams is also to have enough money. I want to sponsor foster homes. Uh, I hate everything that goes around in foster care. In fact, when the pandemic was going on, I was very worried about kids having to stay home, being abused in every way, mentally, physically, emotionally. I was very like, that was, in fact, we had one alive in AliArt and we were all crying. Like my clients were telling, because I was crying and they were like, dude, I was crying with you. And it was very, just to think that that little kid wants to go to school because it's the only way that he's not going to receive a beating, or the only way that the dad is not going to enter the room and physically abuse that little girl. And the school was their only way out. And sometimes they're just thrown into foster cares and they live the whole nightmare again. I'm not saying all of them. Some foster cares are really good. But I want AliArt to be at that level money-wise where I can donate and help foster cares. That's a huge dream. Unfortunately, we're not there. I'm not at that level of selling where I can, um, start, but I definitely want to, and locally in my community. So that's another dream. Maybe in 5 years, it's not going to be one foster home, but several, so that's one of the biggest goals.
Well, that's outstanding. And thank you for sharing that too.
Oh, no, of course.
So where can everybody go? Where would you like the world to go to find everything associated with AliArt and Company?
Well, I do have Instagram, but I'm not popular. I don't know. I think that's why I'm not where I want to be, because it's social media and the algorithms are so hard. I really, so Instagram for me, it's not, but Facebook, you discovered me on Facebook. So Facebook for me has been my everything. So definitely on Facebook. Of course, you can find me on Instagram. On Instagram is AliArt, which is my name, ALI, and then art all together. So it's AliArt Texas with one T. And then on Facebook, you need to spell it exactly like this, because there's a lot of AliArts and everybody gives follows to all the AliArts except me. So on Facebook, it's the same thing. AliArt, ALIART all together, and Co, CO. So you need to put AliArt. I always forget how you call the and sign. Ampersand, well, the symbol for and. I forget how to say it. So it's AliArt, the symbol and Co. You need to spell it completely like that. And Facebook is like my main, where I do the raffles, where I go live and everything. I just post on Instagram. But honestly, it's Facebook. So go check out Facebook. I do raffles constantly. Right now we have the Steven Adler. So and then I'm gonna have another one. So I always try to give. I always try to give. So I'll see you all there.
So very quickly, Ali, what would you like to? What would you say to a young man or young woman that are just in the beginning stages of discovering that they want to become an artist, a career artist, and they want to make a positive impact on the world, but they don't know, no idea how to go about it? What would you say to that young man or young woman?
Definitely, if you have that skill and if that is your dream, definitely make a career out of it. Go to school. Don't give up on your dream. It's not going to work at first, especially for art. It's hard. Sometimes you're at the right place at the right time, and it just blooms, and it's amazing. It's a lot of work. You have to put a lot of work into. Right now, social media is booming, so you need to put a lot of work into your social media. You need to learn a lot, starting with photography, uh, marketing. You need to you business. There's a lot of things that you're gonna need to learn. So be as knowledgeable as you can. Keep practicing. Watch videos. Don't give up. Inspire yourself. But hey, for me, there was a point that I was following all these artists and I was becoming very frustrated because I'm like, how do they paint like that? I cannot do that. And it was starting to affect me more than inspire me. It was starting to, so I unfollowed them. And I said, I am who I am. I'm going to learn at my pace. I'm going to do it. I'm trying to copy them and they have a different skill than I. It's not going to work for me, or maybe it will, but maybe in 10 years that I become, that I have more practice or whatever. So definitely follow artists and inspire yourself. But if in the moment something is just not feeling right and it's creating you more stress and frustration, then be yourself. Be yourself. Find inspiration everywhere. Continue learning. Continue growing. Sadly, I'm not going to say that I don't have friends that have supported me. Yes, I do. But then I have some that have never, not even shared, and sometimes you do feel sad. Like, wow, we have been friends, and so be prepared for that, because it's most likely that your clients are going to become your friends, and some of your friends will never do anything to share. So mentally be prepared to see that too. And I think something very important is also keep it to yourself. Keep your struggles to yourself. Keep all your goals to yourself. Sometimes people don't like to see you succeed, or sometimes people will bring down your dream. So focus, get it done, learn, embrace, don't give up, repeat. And when it happens, then you'll just like throw the explosion into the world and everybody can know. And just be patient. As any business, if you're going to make a business, a career out of this, you're going to have to be very patient. You're going to have a job unless you have a lot of money. But you're going to have to be patient and always call positivity. It will happen. I just need to be patient, little by little. Do a lot of art markets. There's a lot of places that are willing to take your art and hang it in restaurants or in bars. Take advantage. Some of the owners won't charge you a commission, and some of them can charge you between 15 and up to 40%. I would honestly consider a 40% if I see that the place is a little bit popular and art related. Be very careful where you choose to leave your art. And I guess that's it. Just follow your dream, follow your goals.
Well, beautifully, beautifully said. Well, Ali, it has been an honor and it has been a blessing to spend time with you today and to learn a little bit about your background and just have a little introductory chat and just everything that you're talking about is positive. Everything you're talking about is beautiful, and everything you're talking about is true. And that's exactly what I like to have on my show.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for you have been completely wonderful.
Oh, no.
Thank you so very much for choosing Hanging with the Dreamer to come on. And I really hope that the stars line up and I will have you back.
Definitely.
So, dreamers, thank you. So, dreamers, you have been watching Hanging with the Dreamer featuring Ali Art and Company with the awesome, visionary, passionate, beautiful, conceptual artist, Ali Garza. Thank you so very much, Ali.
No, thank you, Will. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this so much.
And I can't wait to see what you come up with next.
You will definitely you'll be there. I know you'll be there. I'll be waiting for your comments.
Thank you. And everybody support Ali Art and Company. Support everything. Check out her page, her Facebook page.
Please.
Check out her Motley Crue portraits and her King Jared portraits, her David Bowie portraits. Check out everything that Miss Ali Garza is designing and creating, because Ali is the real deal. And support, because Ali is laying her heart on the line.
Definitely.
She believes in what she's doing. So follow all the links or follow her Facebook link in the description box below. You've been watching again Hanging with the Dreamer with your host, me, the Dreamer, featuring Ali Art and Company, Miss Ali Garza. Thank you so very much, Ali.
Thank you so much, Dreamer. We'll see each other soon and have a wonderful week.
Thank you so very much, Ali. An all-new episode of Hanging with the Dreamer every Monday at 12 noon. Available wherever you stream.